Hi there and welcome to Real London Gangsters in collaboration with London's craziest gangster. My name's Lee Elliott. I'm the son of a famous gangster, Gorgeous George from South London. Welcome to my podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy the show. Today, as you may have seen before, we've got Mr. Fish with us, a renowned gangster, a gay black guy and an armed robber that robbed a town hall dressed as a woman. And he's back for part 2. So I hope you enjoy the show. Get ready to go. And here he is, Mr. Fish.
Hello, mate. How are you? See, I'm black. I'm in back. How are we?
I'm very well. So you were saying to the viewers that, about the stories of you handing in the gun when you was in the police station and things like that when you got caught with the guy you had to give a slap to. So moving on, because you mentioned Scala before.
Okay, but let me come back.
Go ahead, come back. Yeah,
because we need to finish.
Yeah, absolutely.
So as I said, I handed it to the policeman, and he said, "They never told me there'd be guns." So I went back and I put it on the sergeant's desk. Now, the whole of the police station's gone mad. Not us, Lee. No. Not us. They've gone mad at the officers because now
they haven't searched you properly.
Yeah, right. Thank you. They thought they had free peanuts. They thought they had free peanuts. You know what I mean? Like Maltesers. You get me? All of a sudden, a gun there. So now they've gone right. Strip them down. Search them. Go back to the car. Search. Go back to the scene. Now they're like, what's happening? And what's going on? Crash, how's your father? When you get nicked, if they think you're something bigger than you actually are, then, you know, the suits come down. You know, the suits, they're the ones who have done all the uniform, gone now they're in the game. So they're all like looking, you know, like behind the door, like, do you know them? Like, do you know them? They're seeing if, you know, any of them.
If you're someone important like that, they know.
Yeah. I wasn't.
He didn't have no oil on his hands, that's what it was.
Why you got to bring that up again? No, that hurt. So anyway, it takes the piss out. That's why I like him. Right, remember, subscribe to London's craziest gangster.
Go ahead.
So anyway, Crash. So what they've done, they've now put us in white suits. But they took us to the cells. Now, I don't know if some of you haven't been arrested. Well, different police stations did. But normally in the cells you have 2 rows of cells facing each other. You know, a corridor cell. So what they done, they put us in these cells. But some cells you have a flap and you look through the flap and done flap. But other cells, you pull it down, and when you pull it down, there's a square that you can look out of, you know, like a window. Do you understand? So they put us in cells, but when they put us in the cells, they left all the flaps down because they wanted us to talk. Because obviously they were like next to the cell, like listening. But we were doing like what's it called? What's that when you take all the you know, the game you play? Charades, is it? So I'm going. My cellmate's over there. I'm going.
2 syllables.
Yeah. I'm going. Me, you. Yeah. Walk. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Got to the. Come on. Yeah. Oh mate. Fucking good job we weren't on the programme because we were shit. He never understood a word I said. Anyway. Crash, how's your father? Yeah, which always remembers a comma.
Speak up.
Crash, how's your father? Which always remembers a comma or full stop. Okay. So anyway, Crash. They've now pulled me out. And what's happened is they brought down the suit with grey hair, the old flyers. I love them, yeah. So he said, hello, sir. No, sorry, I've jumped the gun. I apologise to you. Crash, how's your father? They sent a black policeman to me, haven't they? I suppose him being black. Yeah, what's going on, B? In the game, touch me.
Try and get you to talk, yeah?
Yeah. So he comes up to me and he says, hello, son. I said, hello, me. He said, you can call me Paul. And I thought, you can call me fuck off. No, because that's my middle name. It's my middle name. It is. So anyway, Crash out your father, yeah. He's gone, because it was a police gun, he said to me, well, he thought I was working for them. So he said, are you working for us? Do you want us to make a phone call? And I said, no, but you can ring my mother.
Let her know where I am.
Yeah, she was still alive then. Of course. And Crash, how's your father? So anyway, also the white copper comes down now with a suit on, look better than me. So he says, hello, son. I said, hello, Gov. He says, right, let's go back. He says, so you're in this car? I said, yes, sir. He said, you failed to stop. I said, no. I said, we stopped. I said, I want to make one thing clear, here and now, we stopped. Okay, there was no chase. Well, we didn't, they flashed it like we stopped. He went, all right, son, you stopped. He said, and then you guys had a bit of a tussle. I said, yes, sir. All right, sir, thank you, hold my hands up. And then he went, and then you come back to the police station. I said, yes, sir. And he said, and all of a sudden you've produced this on the desk. That's in front of him on the desk there. I went, yes, sir. He said, right, well, can you explain it? So I said, well, yes, sir. I said, I used to have my own security company, and we'd done the doors of all the clubs and all the raves.
Okay.
And all the celebrities. We've done the whole lot. Yeah.
And where did you do the doors? Laser Dome?
We've done the doors, Laser Drone, Don FM, GAY. We've done the doors everywhere. I've done Stratford Rex on my own, and Dave Knight was the manager there. And yeah, I've done loads of doors. We did, I did everything, but we'll talk that later. I even threw one of Fun Loving Criminals off the stage once. Yeah, the Wigan didn't recognise him. I'll tell you that another story. But anyway, Crash, yeah. So I said, well, yeah, I used to have my own security company. I'm bowling down the road once, and I used to do the door of a club called Basement in Shepherd Bush, proper club. And what shut that club down was Crash. I mean, listen, off his nut, listen, yeah. You know what, Lee, I swear, the best fight I ever see was with the Irish, Southern Irish versus Northern Irish. Lee,
really?
Lee, I swear, Lee, off their nuts. Lee, they're getting hit with glasses in the face, Crash, Lee, yeah? And Lee, didn't give a fuck. You know, like, we are fighting to the death.
Crash,
mate, on it, Lee, on it, yeah. He's on it, Crash, mate, on it. And that fight, that shut the club. But I'm telling you, the Irish are on it. The Irish can have a round, please.
It's like an Irish Braveheart, was it?
Braveheart, mate. They were on it. Trust me.
Up the Irish. I love the Irish. Love the Irish.
You know what I love about the Irish? If the Irish love you, you get the biggest dinner in the world.
Yeah, boiled bacon and cabbage.
If they hate you, run. Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, he pulled me. So I said, yeah, I used to have this security. I used to do the door of the basement, and as I'm walking down the road, these two guys, they recognised me as I've thrown them out before, had half the hump, started arguing. Another fella that I only know from raves came along, saw me in a bit of a predicament, jumped out, crashed, said, Fisher, you alright? Give me a hand. There, we're now equal numbers. They've now run, dropped a bag. I picked the bag up, and in the bag was a yoga, which is referred in the filming world is referred to as a gun. Okay, and a bit of puff, and I said I'm carrying it around today.
Which is cannabis.
Yeah, okay, he knows all the terms. He should be a drug worker.
I was.
Now look where it's going. Anyway, no, stop. Why are you pushing in? Butting in. So, that's my name. So anyway, yeah, Crash as your father, yeah. So I said, like, so today I'm just carrying it, acting as Charlie Potatoes. Yeah? So he looked at me like that. Yeah. So anyway, he said, well, what about the car then? I said, oh, well, the car we brought off travellers, our traveller mates. And I said, and in order to prevent any problem, we don't ask where the car comes from. That way we, have avoided any incrimination. Or criminality. So he looked at it like that again. So anyway, they nicked me, and we've gone to, I've now gone to Wandsworth. The partners are all in Wandsworth Nick now. Now, Lee,
Yeah.
here's the part. So I remember I told you in the earlier show we've been looking for this guy for 3 weeks. Remember I told you we got the middleman and had to come. So now, Lee, I get nicked, Lee. Lee, this guy, the one I'm supposed to give the slap, this guy that I'm supposed to give the slap to, yeah? Crash out your... Listen, mate, he's off his nut, trust me, yeah? He goes, my mate who was with the guy that I'm supposed to give the slap to, he now goes to my club, Laser Drum, and kills a guy in Laser Drum.
How much?
Don't ask. I think it was a tenner getting at the time. So anyway, crash out your farmer, yeah? Now my right-hand man, who has now taken over my job on my security company because I am now in prison for the gun, he now comes up to visit me to tell me about the stabbing that's happened in the nightclub.
Right, okay.
But when he visits me, Lee, he comes and he says the geezer, right, remember the geezer got the blame as the guy I'm supposed to give the slap.
Yeah.
He now tells me that that geezer is his brother's best mate.
No.
Crash. How's your...
Small world, folks. Small world.
That's not small. That's miniature. That can't be your best mate's brother. So anyway, I'm now confused. So I say to him, listen, mate, what do you mean your brother's best mate? What are you talking about? Like, how come I've never met him? You know what I mean? I'm confused, like, you know? And my mate says, yeah, well, you haven't met him because he's always in America bringing all the rap stars back over here and he promotes them and goes on the gigs with them and that's why you haven't met him. So I thought, fucking hell. So I said to him, well, hold on, son. This guy's supposed to be pretty bad work, hurting women, kids, troubling businesses and all that. I goes, I've been told he's a piece of shit. So they turned around to me, Lee. My mate turned around and said, no, he's a good geezer, he's proper. So it's like you, Lee, come to me and telling me it's your brother's best pal.
Oh,
well, I'm going to believe you more than I'm going to believe the firm that give us the...
Well, of course, all day long, money around.
Well, So I've had to now say to my mate, look, it's on your pal. I mean, I haven't told him we're the ones who don't give him a slap, but I told him it's on him. I said, it's on your pal. So Crash, I said, do you want me to tell him? So he says, yeah, all right, cool. So then I go back into the prison, and while I'm in, and what's happened is, I always knew, because it was a police gun, I always knew, listen, they're going to bug the cell, they're going to do whatever it takes because they need to know the name of how it came about. So I, you know, in the cell, I would never speak about it to no one in the cell, nothing, Lee. I wouldn't. Yeah. And then what happened, Lee? You see, that's what I'm saying about the game. You've got to understand, Lee. You've got to understand the whole ethics of the game, like how people speak in the game and the words that we use. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the lingo.
Yeah. Do you understand? Yeah. You've got to understand the mannerisms. You understand what I'm saying, Lee? You know when when we see old Bill.
There's different code words for different things. There's different signals.
Yeah. And you know, Lee, when you go, someone don't fit in, and you go, he's old. You know.
Yeah, you might go like that. Yeah, that means Nitto, get him out of here.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm on the wing. Now, I don't know who you lot in ones of who remember. Remember Seawing when it was newly built? Remember it was sort of a pinkish colour and blue rails. Remember that time, that era? And remember you couldn't wear your own clothes on the remand wing. Do you remember now, boys? No, sorry, you couldn't wear prison clothes. Remember? Couldn't wear prison clothes. So what happened? Yeah.
I bet you liked it when it was all pink on the wing, didn't you?
Mate, I didn't want to leave.
Doilies everywhere.
And why are you always taking, you know what I mean? London's craziest gangster every time made me look like a dickhead.
Listen, he's painting the wing pink. I mean, what prison do you know where they paint the wing pink?
I was wondering. Maybe the governor like me. But anyway, crash out your father. What I'm trying to show you is, look, I'll tell you what happened, I'll explain it better. So anyway, I know everybody. Yeah, we're all drug dealers, we dabbled in it all, we come up. doing the game, done the drugs and the drugs. But what's happened is, I'm talking to this heroin dealer, but you know I don't take heroin still. You got to remember, heroin back in the '96. Heroin, crack were always seen as taboo drugs in the criminal fraternity game, although there was a lot of them in the fraternity in the criminal world. But they were seen as taboo because they was always believed that if you're taking heroin or crack, it's always believed that you're grass first.
Well, yeah, because you're scummy if you're on them sort of drugs, and you'll do anything. You'll rob your own mother. You'll like rob people you know. That's when the old school rules go out the window when you're on them type of drugs.
Did you rob your mum?
No, I went on them type of drugs.
He wishes he was done.
I went on them type of drugs.
Nah, them drugs no good. Well, it was always in the criminal world. You always stayed away from crack and heroin. They're always seen as too strong, and they ruin you. They take you. I mean, to be honest with you, you need to stay away from all drugs now.
All drugs are bad, people.
Yeah,
all drugs are bad.
All drugs are bad. They all lead to disappointment, or some come from disappointment. It all ends up bad. But anyway, going back to the story, let's get it over and done. So, Crash, how's your father? I'm talking this heroin dealer, and this cozzer comes along. I'm talking heroin dealer, but because heroin's taboo, people would never let you know. They would never go up to a heroin dealer and go, "Oh, listen, do me a favour, remember mine," because heroin was very hard to get then. So all the ones that knew the geezer had it would keep it secret because they wanted it all for themselves.
Yeah.
So the mistake this copper came because they put a policeman in to get near to me to find out who was giving out the guns. But the mistake he made was when I was talking to him and he came up to me, "Oh, don't forget mine, Jay." Now, to anyone else, that wouldn't have mattered to them. It would have been, they would have just. But to me, I went,
It's the biggest signal ever, right?
Well, not the biggest signal yet, but it was one of, because to me, I was
It's a red flag at least.
Yeah, red flag. He thinks he's a probation officer.
I learned these terms.
We're not bullfighting. It'd be a bullfight. So anyway, Crash, how's your father? That's what I don't like him. So Crash, how's your father? What's happened here? So I've gone back to PK and Julian, and I've said, "PK, mate," and Julian. I think I was banged up with Julian Belton. Julian Belton down in Bournemouth at the moment. And I said to them, "Boys, this fella's wrong, mate. And trust me, he's all wrong." And I think they thought I'd been a bit paranoid, but in the end, what I'll explain now. Anyway, I've gone on the yard next day, now, let me explain before I say the last bit. Everybody, no matter who you are, when you come to prison, you will know someone. Even if you've never been in crime or anything, so you will know someone will come and go, "Oh, fuck me, you're from this area," and they go, "Oh, yeah." You'll always know someone. It's just the way it is. I know it seems mad, you think you've never been there before, but someone will be from your area or something there. You have someone.
There'll always be someone in there that you know.
Yeah. And so what happened with this guy? And this is what I'm saying. You have to, when you're in the game, you have to know about prison and how it works. You got to know about the game. And what he done, this guy, he sat on the exercise yard on his own in a prison shirt reading a book. Now, you're not allowed to wear prison clothes. And so reading the book on his own. So that now was always making me even more, giving me more reason to suspect him. Yeah, more reason. Yeah, and so we warned the boys. And then I noticed, Lee, he only ever started talking to the cleaners.
Right.
And that's what brings me back to the sentence I just said before when I said everyone knows somebody. He didn't. And when you don't know no one in prison, that means you've got to be working for the other side.
Yeah.
You got to be.
100%.
Yeah, you have to be. So anyway, I noticed he only spoke to cleaners, so I went, all right, sweet. Now, Lee, Lee, one day, everybody, you all like Crash out your farm. You all know I go, ha. You all know I got a mad laugh. You all know I'm off my nut. And one day something happened and I was laughing with Julian Belton. And he came up, and this is what this is what gave his whole game away. He went to me, "I'll tell you what, mate, that's one of those exaggerated laugh you got there." We don't use the word exaggerated. Not when you're from the street.
Nah.
Just don't use exaggerated.
It'd be you got a proper cackle there, mate.
You know what I mean? Yeah. We don't use exaggerated. Mate, I mean, I've been criminals up and down. I know people middle class, I know the rich, the poor. Listen, no uses the word an exaggerated laugh.
Police officers, that's a...
Don't cross us up. What's wrong with him? You got to tell us why we're giving us away. So anyway, Lee, and for those of you who have done bird anywhere in England, up north, down south, east, west, you all know it. Listen, Lee, everyone knows you never go into a prison and get a job straight on the hot plate. No. Unless you've been there 3 months, 6 months and the screws know you. Yeah. It's not happening.
That's right.
It ain't happening. Right? So Crash, as soon as he realised he can't get to us, Lee, he goes on the hot plate for a day or two and then just disappears.
And then disappears, yeah.
So I know. And then what happened was Crash had him. It's quite funny. I knew I'd got him, and then I randomly realised I remembered seeing him get out of an SPG van, a Special Police Groups van, in Chiswick. I just remembered. But he had the big chops on. He was bouncing like a black yard. He had it all done good, but we were lucky. So anyway, then the next problem came, the prosecution.
Yeah.
Prosecution wrote to me, and they crashed it. Right, prosecution's taking the piss, and it's hard work with them people. Okay. So he wrote to me. That's right. He wrote to me, yeah, and they wrote to me and said, "Well, Mr. Fierce, look, if you don't go guilty to knowing the car was stolen, we won't accept your guilty plea on the gun."
Right. Okay, I got you.
But Lee, that brings it back to conspiracy.
Yeah, right, I've got you, yeah. So they're trying to trick you into conspiracy.
Yeah. Well, it brings the charge back to conspiracy. Now you don't go there. No. So I refuse.
And conspiracy is a lot worse charge.
Oh, mate.
Trust me. Don't worry about getting nicked for the crime. If you conspire to do the crime, you're looking at a very long time.
Right. It's worse than doing the crime.
Yeah.
Crash. So anyway, Lee. But I knew, Lee. My arm was, well, if you're not going to accept my not guilty plea on the car, who else are you going to cross-examine to prove it is?
Yeah.
It's only but me.
Yeah.
So it don't make sense.
Right.
So I stuck to my guns. But when I went in the Old Bailey, you've got to remember, this is what I'm saying with the game. People think the game's just about what you do and going out on bits of work. You've got to understand the whole game. Otherwise, you're in the wrong game. You know what I mean? Do you like that one? You got to understand the whole game. Otherwise, you're in the wrong game. It sounds good. Crash. That's good, my boy. So anyway, yeah, Crash. I'm now where was I?
You was at the Old Bailey.
Yes, I'm at the Old Bailey. So what's happened? The old man, yeah, my stepdad. He wants me to look like this in the Bailey, all suited and booted and no, yeah. I'm going no. Because I didn't want to go in there showing any signs of wealth or that we're doing well, yeah? Because then the judge will look at it, misinterpret as you interpret, or you're in the game, and next minute you're doing fucking 25 years for being a hitman. So I got my old dear to get me a tracksuit from Argos, a tracksuit with no name, a blue and a grey one. And then I got my stepdad and my stepsister, Nicky Bartlett. you nearly got me 10 years, you old cow. And Steve Bartlett, my stepdad, banging, gangster, #1. So what happened was, he came, I got them to come. Because you've got to remember, when you go to court, Crash, you have to remember, when you go to court, there are certain things that happen that if you don't know about, you're fucked. Now, one of the main things that happens, what a lot of people don't, the judge looks to see you're representing. So when your family come in and you wave, he's up there looking to see what. Now, if you go in a courtroom and you've got 900 black geezers and white geezers carrying Uzi, there, wearing bandanas around their nuts, he's not going to look on you too favourably.
Can I just stop you there? I know exactly why he's telling the truth there, because in my first GBH case, it was against a guy that had come into my house. I won't go into details, and started basically, and he'd come off worse. But his dad was supposed to be a bit of a face as well. And when I went to court, I had 2 trials. The first trial got thrown out. The second trial it didn't. But I had my nan there. I had my mum there. I had I think my auntie there. So they're all lined up, all
Obviously
looking
a family
lovely, you know.
affair.
They got their flask and everything. They're in the back of the court. And this guy's got 3 big henchmen, all in leather jackets, look like bouncers. And the police had come to my solicitor and said we've had reason to believe that we've had intelligence to say that if you get off with this case, like the guy I've done, his dad's going to shoot you outside the court. Yeah, so they had armed police inside the court and things like that. Yeah, they had armed police inside the court.
I wish they shot him.
I just wanted someone to bring my gun so I could shoot him first, really. It don't work like that, but yeah, so I know exactly how you're telling the truth. It can look damaging to you having the wrong people in the court with you. You know, you've got to have sensible people in the court.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to look like you're down and out, so you haven't got loads of money. You're not earning loads of money out of the crime.
I ain't got loads
you
of
know, and that's exactly why we do what we do. You've got to know the game. Go on, carry on.
So it could crash, yeah. So I look anyway. So, but the prosecution now, they're trying to call me a hitman for a certain family over North, and I'm saying no, I'm just a peanut, I'm a gay peanut, I ain't got a clue. I'm sitting in the dock like that. Do you know what I mean? You don't not sit up like a peanut, do you know what I mean? And so I'm sitting there, and I said, look, you know, I'm just a peanut, I'm a faggot, I found the gun. And he said to us, well, you haven't really got no evidence to, you're saying it, but you've got no evidence to prove it. And so he gave me a year, and it was funny because back then days, a gun in '96 was just a year. Loaded gun, all holster was just a year. Whereas now it's 5 years. It's
5 years.
10 years. 5 or 10.
5 years, I think, and
10 for a gun, isn't it?
And extra for every bullet. Isn't it?
Okay, yeah, okay. So yeah, he knows more than me. So what I mean is but also I hit a train guard down in Liphook, which is in Surrey, which is near Guildford. And what happened was, my mate Kevin Bryant, God bless him, he's just died last week. And or 2 weeks ago, and he asked me to borrow some money from me that day, but I said, listen Kevin, I can't really give you the money, let's going to bring it back tomorrow because I need to get a train back. And he said, all right, he will. Next day he didn't give me the money, so I went to the train station. There was a skinhead train guard, and don't get me wrong, I've got skinhead mates and that, I used to be skinhead, but it was all right racist. So I said, look, I need to get the train, I haven't got a ticket. So he said, well, look up there, and it said, well, £300 or £400 fine consequences if you get on the train without a ticket. So I said, well, okay. So I said, look, can you ring up my mate, which they can do, and he'll pay over the credit card. He went, no. So I said, all right, then in that case, I'll take the consequences. So I've walked up the platform, no one ain't said a word, been on it 15 minutes, train's come, I got on the train, was 7, and the train's not moved, he's come and got me. So I'm walking, I go, no, come on mate, look, I'm not being flash, I need to get home, I've asked you to play me. He said, I don't fucking care, so I've just crash! Oh mate, I'm fuming now. There's no need for it, I've asked you being polite with you, just because I'm a fucking...
He's having a bad day, taking it out on you.
He's not having a bad day, he's racist, he don't like black people, and he thought that I'm one of them black people that ain't gonna have it, that are just gonna stand for it. Well, it's not happening, alright? So crash how's your father? I've done him, all the rest now, in the morning, all middle class area, they're all going to work. So they're all now jumping off the train. So I've gone mad now. I'm walking up and down the platform. I'll tell you what, look, yeah, no, Geezer's jumped out the train with his sleeves all, they have their sleeves rolled up. And he's standing next to me, you know, when you get to school, standing next to me with your arms out, you know, you got your arms out and all that. So I said, oh look, we got a hero. So I kicked him again. I said, well, come on then, save him. Come on, save him. And now I've gone mad up the whole train. Come on then. Let's all fucking have a go. Let's all. I've just, you know, when you lose it. The only other black people around there were sheep, you know what I mean? So crash. It's true. So crash out your father. I've eaten. He goes, all right, get on the train. And crash out your father. We got on the train and I got nicked. No, sorry, I didn't get on the train. I got nicked for it. And that's never. Well, here we go. Once again, we've reached the end of the show. Remember where you saw it first. Remember where you heard it last. And easy on my mind. There you go.
And welcome to the show. But goodbye for now. But don't forget to like and subscribe to Real London Gangsters, and also to London's craziest gangster, Mr. Fish. And come back soon for part 3. Thank you very much.
Always remember, there's nothing bad that can't be worse. Hit the button, slap the button, hurt the button, crack the button. But whatever you do, don't miss the button. Like and subscribe.
How much?
To keep the show alive.